News 4 Jax starts right now with a breaking news alert.
That breaking news alert is out of South Florida, where a judge just ordered that same-sex marriages can begin in Miami-Dade County right away.
I'm lifting the stay.
This video is just into our newsroom. It shows the judge officially lifting the stay, allowing same-sex marriages to begin as early as this afternoon. All other same-sex marriages begin at midnight here in Florida. In other news, the pension board's discussing ways to get the city out of a $1.7 billion pension deficit. City Council passed a plan that would have police and firefighters undergoing significant changes in the way their retirements are funded. Channel 4's Scott Johnson joins us by phone from City Hall. Scott, what ideas came out of this meeting?
Well, Bruce, they're wrapping this meeting up literally right now. A few things they're not happy with is what City Council has proposed. They're going to push back the City Council, including things like the cost of living adjustment for police and fire and retirees. They want a better deal than what they say the City Council gave them, and as well as they want to make sure the $40 million budget shortfall is handled by the city. Otherwise, the city will be penalized for that. So those are some of the things going on. This should probably be bounced back to the City Council in the next day or two, and they should have some numbers shored up because some of the numbers the Fire Pension Board and the city don't match up. So these are things that are going to be continuing over the next 2 days. But it looks like some of the ideas the City Council had, they're not happy with, and the Fire and Pension Board want everyone to come to a compromise to make a final deal. Live downtown, Scott Johnson, Channel 4, the local station.
And Scott will have more on news4jax.com and the news tonight at 5. Right now, doctors at Wolfson Children's Hospital just wrapped a news conference to discuss the procedure performed last Friday to begin separating conjoined twins. Jen Waugh joins us from the newsroom with how those twins are doing right now. Jen.
Well, Bruce, complex. That's how doctors really describe the next steps to separating Carter and Connor Mirabal. You know, the infants were born just 3 weeks ago, and doctors are now talking about the first stage of separating them. We know the babies do have their own livers. The problem is those organs are attached. Part of their small intestines are also conjoined, but doctors were able to partially separate the intestines last Friday. You're looking at the video from the news conference that, as you mentioned, just wrapped up. Where the twins are conjoined is very rare, very unusual, according to doctors. The twins' mom, though, is relieved that things are going well so far.
They're doing wonderful on their own. Like he said, they're breathing on their own again, and they are doing wonderful. And we're holding up real good, and we're just taking it day by day.
Now, doctors say that they want the twins now to grow, get bigger before they embark on what they hope will be the final surgery to separate the livers as well as the bile ducts. Now, they expect to do that when Carter and Connor are about 6 months, even maybe 9 months. But they did tell us really late in the news conference that they're concerned that Connor may be getting more food, growing faster. And they say if that continues, they may have to separate them sooner. We'll, of course, continue to follow this. Bruce? Thank
you, Jen. New information about the woman who was involved in an accident with a JFRD fire truck. It happened Friday as the truck was headed to a call. JSO released that woman's name. They say 63-year-old Mabibeth Calandro remains in critical condition at UF Health. Authorities say Calandro was backing out of her driveway as the fire truck with its lights and sirens went through the intersection of Tallulah Avenue and Main. Neighbors who lived in that area say this is a very dangerous intersection. We have an update on the survivors in a deadly New Year's Day crash in Baker County. It killed 3. A close family friends to the town family, says 2 of the 5 children hurt in the crash are still in critical condition. The others are recovering with family and friends. Their father, 33-year-old Levi Town from Lake City, was killed in that crash. Their mother, Amber, was also hurt. Lake City communities raised more than $116,000 to help with funeral and living expenses. Also, nearly 150 people from a church showed up at the town's home on Sunday to provide a remodel to get the family's home ready for Amber and the kids. They're planning on having the house done within a week. 17-year-olds David Schaefer and Jessica Perry from Jacksonville were also killed in that crash. Troopers say their car was going the wrong way on US 90 when they collided head-on. A funeral fund for Perry has raised more than $3,100. We're less than a day away from Governor Rick Scott's inauguration. The governor will take his oath tomorrow following his re-election back in November. The day will include a prayer breakfast, his official swearing-in ceremony, a tribute to military families, and a reception at the governor's mansion. Tuesday's ceremonies start at 11 with cabinet members swearing in, followed by the governors taking the oath of office at noon. Channel 4's Kent Justice will be live in Tallahassee starting tonight at 10, covering the inaugural events. New Yorkers and people across the country are getting ready to say goodbye to former Governor Mario Cuomo. A wake is being held today in New York. Cuomo's funeral will be held tomorrow morning at a church in Manhattan. The former governor died of heart failure on New Year's Day. He was 82 years old. President Obama offered his condolences to Cuomo's family after hearing about his death, and he called him, quote, a determined champion of progressive values. Jury selection in the Boston Marathon bombing trial begins today. Talks of a plea deal this weekend could have changed all that. A source tells our news partner CNN the Justice Department rejected a deal for Zohar Tsarnaev to plead guilty in exchange for life in prison without parole. Sunland Sarfati is in Boston with the very latest.
Life in prison rather than the death penalty.
It's not a question of whether or not he's found guilty. The only question that remains is in the sentencing phase of the trial, will a jury of his peers sentence him to the death penalty?
Jury selection is expected to take several weeks. Recovery efforts continue in the Java Sea for a downed Air Asia plane. Still ahead, how the U.S. is helping with the efforts and the action that will be taken against those who allowed the flight to take off. Next, investigators hope to talk to the 7-year-old girl who survived a plane crash. Plus, we're hearing from the man who helped the girl after the crash.
Like WJXT4, the local station, on Facebook.
Federal investigators hope to speak to the 7-year-old girl who survived a plane crash. It killed 4 of her family members in Kentucky on Friday. The small twin-engine Piper traveling from the Keys crashed in the woods of western Kentucky. NTSB officials say 7-year-old Sailor Gutzler's account of the crash could help them figure out what caused the plane to go down. The girl made it through almost a mile of forest and briar patches to a man's house. That man's now describing what happened that night.
I didn't hear anything, you know, and as the crow flies, it probably wasn't a quarter of a mile, but I heard no noise whatsoever. And once you told me the plane crashed, of course, immediately I looked outside to see if there was any smoke or anything like that, and there was not. And so I brought her in the house and propped her feet up and called 911.
Sailor suffered a broken wrist, but was coherent and calm as she talked with authorities. Her mother, father, sister, and cousin were all killed in that crash. 3 more bodies from the downed Air Asia flight were recovered today. They were taken by plane back to Indonesia for positive identification. Divers looking for the wreckage have called off the search for the day, but ships continue to search the ocean's surface. Indonesia's transportation minister is blasting reports that the flight was allowed to take off without proper permits. He says those who allowed that to happen will be punished. Right now, the U.S. Navy is helping in the rescue effort for that Air Asia flight. Sailors assigned to the Mobile Diving and Salvage Unit from the USS Fort Worth launched a towfish side scan sonar system. A recovery team from the USS Sampson is also helping tow the wreckage.
Always watching, always tracking. Channel 4 is the weather authority.
Boy, what a stark contrast temperature-wise. We're what, like 26 degrees cooler than we were this time yesterday?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
I mean, by this time yesterday, it felt like it was
like
already in the
80s,
80s. Yesterday. And we also started off with the, what was it, the record warm morning temperature. So we started off even warmer than we sit right now. 65 yesterday, set a new record. The old one was 63. But Bruce, our daytime highs are going to struggle to climb into those 40s, even 50s on Thursday. And then this weekend forecast, there you go, that slight chance for showers as we begin that trek back into the 60s. Once again, back to you.
Hi, thanks, Rich. As people return to their normal routines after the holidays, they're also returning what they didn't want for Christmas. UPS says people are now packing up their unwanted gifts and getting ready to ship them back. With a record number of people shopping online during the holidays, the company is labeled tomorrow as UPS National Returns Day. The company expects consumers will ship more than 800,000 packages back to retailers. By the end of the week, UPS says it will be carrying about 4 million return packages within the U.S. alone. An unusual attempt at getting into the world record book. Still ahead, this man's goal to poach a title at an international competition. And we all know that new car smell doesn't last forever. Next in Angie's List, advice from professional detailers on how to keep your ride looking and smelling good. Nothing like the look, feel, and smell of a brand new car. Unfortunately, it doesn't last. Well, it's impossible to keep your car in flawless condition. You can make it clean and shiny again. Channel 4's Jennifer Waugh explains there's auto detailing available for every budget.
Jennifer Waugh, Channel 4, the local station.
So your mom told you don't play with your food. One man didn't listen. Next, a world record attempt he's looking for with the incredible edible egg. And take a look at the stock market. Losses all around. The Dow is off more than 270 points. The Nasdaq is down almost 49. The S&P 500 slipping almost 31 points. Colorado man's in China attempting to reach a world record for his unique talent. He's taking part in the International Egg Balancing Competition. It's a contest that will put his skills to the test, balancing a dozen eggs in less than 75 seconds. Brian Spots will compete during a game show with an official Guinness Book of World Records official on site. That means if he's able to break the world record, he won't have to wait for an official to verify his claim. And he's no rookie. Back in 2003, he used more than 1,200 eggs to break the record for most eggs balanced at one time.
I actually invented the category of fastest time to balance a dozen eggs for myself.
He invented the category. Scott says when he's not preparing for the competition, he prefers his eggs scrambled instead of balanced. As for what he does for a living, he exaggerates.
I saw, well, we had the story this morning, and so I had to do like more search because I thought it was funny that he created his own category and so he's got a record in it. There were some pictures online where he's actually stacked, and it looks like it's fake. He's stacked egg on egg on egg, and I don't know how long it takes to develop or hone that skill, but it seems like he's had a lot of time to do so.
Well, I did hear that he was very shy in the past, but he's come out of his shell. He's not chicken anymore.
This is just going so quick. Hit the brakes. All right, let's take that final look at your
Freddie,
forecast.
you're not even
here.
laughing.
That's how good they're not. Oh, mercy. All right, Monday through Wednesday, here's a change in the forecast. Today, seasonally cool temperatures. We warm up near 70 tomorrow, and then it's back to those seasonal. That's almost spot on for where we should be this time of year. Wednesday, that right there opens up the door at the hump of the work week for the cold air that we're going to be dealing with Thursday and Friday. We'll have to get out there and protect those plants as we will see the at least freeze criteria back-to-back mornings.
Good time to download the weather app on your Android or Apple phone. It's free in the store by going to just WJXT and doing a search. Keep you posted on the weather conditions. Have a good afternoon.
At News 4 Jax, we're always covering the news, even when we're not on TV. Stay informed, on the go, and online at news4jax.com.